So the last kind of special segment we're going to look at in our kind of unit here, and this will then kind of make sure that we've covered just about everything. There's one more construction I want to show you, but remember we have that benchmark crest coming up on Thursday of this week. All right, tomorrow we'll learn like one more little thing, but then we'll get right into like review tomorrow and then also Wednesday in preparation for that benchmark crest on Thursday. Yeah. We're going to work on some of that tomorrow, some too, yeah. So that packet that you handed out, so that's not just it, but you know, that's some of it too. Because remember, right, yeah, because remember we've covered, you know, points, lines, and planes. We talked about, you know, what else we do? Proofs and stuff like that, which is in there, you know, and transformations. That was another big unit that we had. So those three big units. So like points, lines, and planes, that basic stuff, transformations, and then also triangles, special segments and triangles, you know, mid-segment now we're going to learn about today. Will they be there potentially as well? Okay, so the good news, right, one of the things I love about geometry is that most of you guys already have like an intuitive sense about like what's going to be true about this, okay? So let me first of all define a mid-segment. The mid-segment of a triangle is a line segment that connects the midpoints of two sides of the triangle, okay? Sorry, it's a little crooked, I know. All right, so if you look here in this picture, you see this little swing, okay, this little bench swing there, and it's got this kind of frame here that it's hanging from, but it creates a triangle, and then you see this little cross beam right here as a support, but this support ends up being about a mid-segment, okay? So you can see here that this point right here looks to be about the midpoint of this side of the triangle, and this point right here looks to be about the midpoint of this side of the big triangle. And so it creates then this little thing here called a mid-segment. So this, okay, is like a mid-segment. Okay? So since this is a midpoint of this side right here, what can I say is going to be true about this segment and this segment? They'll be what? Yeah, they're going to be congruent. You can mark them congruent if you want to. Okay? Likewise, if this is a midpoint as well for this segment, if this is a midpoint for this segment, then what can I say about these two little smaller pieces right here? They're going to be what? Congruent as well. So I'll put 2 tick marks there because it's going to be a different kind of congruence, though, potentially. Okay? Now, the mid-segment that's drawn in here, okay, right there, that little mid-segment, this also has a relationship to this third side. Okay? So to these two sides, the mid-segment just cuts this side in half, and it cuts this side in half. So, yes, one relationship, and Kyle's exactly right, okay? This mid-segment will be parallel to this third side, which means that if we were to, like, make this a line and extend this on forever, and if we were to extend this on forever, okay, then they should not intersect. It'd be parallel, okay? So that's true. The mid-segment, okay, the mid-segment is parallel to the third side of the triangle. Yeah, sorry, it's so cold. Okay, so the mid-segment is parallel to the third side of the triangle. So we can mark that in here if you want to by putting like little arrows there, right? That's how we mark parallel. All right. What else does it look like might be the relationship here between this mid-segment and this third side? Do they look like they're going to be congruent? Does it look like this side will be the same length as this side? Yeah, no, right? Yeah, obviously. But there is a relationship. And it might be hard to see because I don't think this is quite drawn. I mean, I think it's kind of like a perspective picture there, so it's kind of hard to see. But there is a relationship between the mid-segment and that third side, yeah.
Is it like if you add another mid-segment, then it would be
the same length as the third side? Exactly right. The mid-segment is half the length of that third side. So the mid-segment... Yeah, sorry. Thank you for saying something, Ramel. So the mid-segment is half the length of the third side. Okay? And those are the two big properties we want to have down. okay, for this little section here. This midsegment, which joins the midpoints of two sides, okay, it's parallel to the third side, and it's also half the length of that third side. Okay, so those are the two big relationships. Okay, any questions on that? So we're going to see that put into practice here in just a little bit. So those are the two big properties. So that is a midsegment, joining the midpoint at two sides, and then the midsegment is parallel to the third side that it doesn't touch there, and midsegment is also half the length. So this is half the length of that third side right there. All right. May I move on there? Okay, it looks like it. All right. So let me see here if I've got... Okay, so we're going to skip the very next page. It deals with like the coordinate plane. I don't want to worry about that right now. We'll come back to that. But right now I want to take a look at page 398. So if you would please turn to page 398. Okay, you'll see the statement that I just mentioned, those two statements, now talked about as the triangle midsegment theorem. Okay, you can see right here it says the segment at the top of page 398. Ramel. The segment theorem at the top of page 398 says the segment joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side, and its length is half the length of that side. Okay, so that's the triangle midsegment theorem. All right, so if you look here at example 2, we have a triangle here. But it looks like we've got two segments drawn in there. So we actually have two midsegments. Okay, so UV is a midsegment. Okay, and we're not really told that in the directions here, but I think we have to kind of assume it because otherwise we wouldn't be able to do the problem. Okay, so we'll assume UV is a midsegment, and then UW. So we'll assume UV and UW are midsegments. Generally, we should be told that already. I think that's probably a mistake in the book here. Okay, because we're not really told that they are, but I'm assuming that we have to have that because otherwise we won't be able to do it. Okay. So let's start out here, and it says the first question says for letter A, it says find UW. So here's UW. Okay, that's a midsegment. Okay. So we're going to compare UW to what third side? U is a point on RS, W is a point on RT, so that's connecting those two midpoints. What's the third side of the bigger triangle we're going to compare UW to? So yeah, so ST, okay, is this third side that we're going to compare UW to.
You just pick that side because U is touching another side and W is touching the other side.
Exactly right. That makes it the third side. So, what is the length of ST here, Chardez? What's the length of ST? Do we know that just by looking at the picture? No, but could we figure it out using what we know? For example, we know part of ST. S to V is how long? 10.2. Can we figure out what V to T is going to be, Chardez? Yeah, what's V to T going to be? 10.2 as well. Okay, remember, Chardez, we assumed that UV was a midsegment, which means that U and V are midpoints for the two sides. So if V is a midpoint, if this half is 10.2, well, it means this half has to be 10.2 as well, right? Okay, so therefore, how can we figure out the full length ST there, Chardez? 10.2 plus 10.2, which is actually then 20.4. So if you want to kind of like draw that, we can say that whole thing is 20.4. Okay? Very good. All right, so if the full length here from S to T is 20.4, Josh, what is UW, or how can you figure out what UW has to be? If ST is the full length there is 20.4, how can you figure out UW? Half of that. Yep. And so take 20.4 and divide by 2, which is then back to 10.2. Yep, 10.2. Okay, so the answer here for UW is 10.2. Oh, I see here. It's interesting. If you guys read the little problem the way they did, they said that ST was 10.2, but it looks to me that ST is not 10.2. It looks like that SV was 10.2. So I'm going to just scratch out this because I don't think they labeled that very well, but oh well. Okay. I think the heat is like the way that the heat works, and you'll have to talk to Mr. Rumpf about this because he's the one that's kind of in charge of the building. But basically, I think like the way the heat works is once it's on, it stays on. So they want to make sure it's going to be, I guess, cold for the rest of. It's not going to get hot again because if you can imagine, if the days get hot and then suddenly we have the heat on, we can't just switch on the AC like you can in a house, and so it could be like super hot in here potentially too. But I don't think it's going to get like warmer. So I imagine the heat will probably start coming on. I don't know. I can't say though. Plus also, like if it's over the weekend, they don't turn the heat on over the weekend. So that's also why it might be so chilly this morning too. Like tomorrow it might be okay because it's had a chance for the heat to run through. I don't know. But I would definitely recommend, guys, that for the next couple of days you at least, bring some warm clothes. Yeah. Okay. Layer up, and then you can always take those layers off if it starts to get warm for you. All right. Anyway, let's look at letter B. Okay. Next thing says, letter B, complete the reasoning to find the measure of angle SVU. We're not going to do this little reasoning part that they have us do. We're just going to take a look at this. So measure of angle SVU. So this angle right here is what we want. Okay? Special Victims Unit. Okay? So you guys like watching Law & Order SVU. Anyway. So, this angle. Well, we don't have anything up here that we are told about. It says the segment joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side, and its length is half the length of that side. But we're not told about angle relationships from a midsegment, are we?
Yes, we are. No, we're not.
Not really, no. But we do know that, one second here, we do know that UV is parallel to this side over here, RT. So, will it be 41? So, hang on, we'll get to that there, EK, one second. So, sorry, one question there. What would you say, Jason? Did you have a question? Okay. We also know that SR here, bless you, SR is going to be parallel, oh, sorry, not SR, sorry, I don't want that, sorry, I was the wrong one, I'm sorry. It's not, because that's not going to be one we have. It's UW is parallel to ST here. Okay. Because it's mid-segments there, they're going to be parallel. Okay? Now, this might be hard to see, but if I turn my book here, it might be a little bit easier to see. So let me turn my book some, so that ST is kind of like facing me here. Okay? So Ikeva wants to say that our angle here that we're trying to find, this one, is going to be a 41-degree angle. And Ikeva's right. Can anyone explain, or can you explain why, though, Ikeva, why this angle is going to be 41 degrees? Okay, they look the same, right, but...
Well, they are the same, because if you were to flip VUW,
yep.
it would be SC.
Mm-hmm. What special angle relationship do we have here? Not corresponding, but it is one of those special angle pairs. Alternate what? Interior. That's right, look here. We have a parallel line and a parallel line cut by a transversal. These are alternate interior angles. So they're going to be the same. Okay? So yeah. So SVU is 41 degrees. Okay?
Wait, so it's 41.
Uh-huh. Because again, it's alternate interior to this angle. Okay? It's alternate interior. Now what about like this angle right here then? What about angle UVT? What does that have to be? Listen up, guys. Shouldn't be chatting.
What did it be? Hold on.
UVT. So again, this is 41. Let me write that down.
It'd be...
How can we figure out what this angle is going to be?
It'd be TWU.
It'd be the same as TWU. That's right. These two will be congruent. You're right. But what's the measure going to be?
Oh, 10.2.
Of the angle.
I don't know.
How can we figure it out? Don't quit. How can we figure out this angle right here? So Haley is exactly right. 180, take away 41 degrees. And you can think of it two different ways. One way you can see it here is that 41 and this angle, okay, together make a straight line. So 180 take away the 41 will leave you at that. Okay, so let's see here. 180 minus 41, 139. Okay, or these two angles, what's the angle relationship here? They're on the same side of the transversal there.
So you do 41 times 5.
No. Listen, please. 41 and 139, they are co-interior angles. Again, if I turn my paper, it might be a little bit easier to see because normally we see like the parallel lines like this. So parallel line there, these two angles are co-interior. They are on the same side, and they are between the two parallel lines there. So they're going to be supplementary. Remember, co-interior angles are supplementary. That might be a little bit hard to see, but that's another way you can see that. Okay?
This is really
All right, well, let's try another one. Let's try another one here. So
okay, how you got the 130?
we have a straight line right here,
Yeah.
right? If this angle is 41 degrees, and then this angle along with it makes that straight line, what's the measure for of a straight angle? 180.
Subtracting 180 from
Mm-hmm.
41.
Exactly right. Or alternatively, Jason, when we have two parallel lines, these two angles are also supplementary to add up to 180 as well.
I know what I'm doing.
Okay, good. Let's take a look at another one here. Let's look at number 6. Okay, we'll do this one together as well. Okay. So here for number 6, we're supposed to find JL first. So let's see, here's JL. Okay, you'll notice that we have these congruency marks here. So JM is equal to ML, which means M is the what of segment JL? The midpoint, okay? And then likewise, P is a midpoint for this side, and N is a midpoint for this side. So if we want to find the length of JL, any ideas here? What can we do?
Oh, the opposite, I think the opposite of that, right?
Okay, so what's the midsegment? What's the midsegment to this third side here?
M?
M is the midpoint. What's the midsegment, though?
MP.
Okay, so MP is the midsegment to this side, because it's not touching. See, MP is not touching it. So PN is the midsegment for this side right here, because PN is not touching it. This is the midsegment for this side. MP is the midsegment for this side.
But how?
Well,
Touching the line. Like,
okay, but remember, what are the properties? Shh, guys, please stop talking. Shh. Okay. PN is the midsegment for this side. Remember, what are the properties of a midsegment? It has to be what? Half the third side and parallel to the third side. PN is parallel to JL, right? PM clearly intersects JL, so it can't be PM. It's got to be PN there as the midsegment. Okay, so there's PN, and that's the midsegment. So, how can we figure out what JL is then if we know what PN's length is?
It would be
Not divide in this case, right? Yeah, it's 2 times 39. This because if this is half the length of this, we have to take this 39 and multiply by 2 to get this full length. Okay? And so it's just 2 times 39, which I think is 68.
Do you think it would help if we, like, in the line longer? 78.
Oh, sorry, 78. Thank you. My bad. Sorry, what was your question, Jaden?
Like, if you drew the midsegment longer, do you think it would help them?
Drew the midsegment longer?
Like, you have to multiply.
You can, like, what do you mean by draw it longer?
I don't know.
I mean, here's how you can know that you have to multiply by 2 here and not do 1/2. Because if you look here, clearly PN, right, looks like it's shorter than JL, right? And so that's where it's, I have to multiply by 2. If you're talking about the third side, clearly this side is longer than the midsegment, so if you had the measurement for this side, you then take the longer side, divide it by 2, then you get the PN side. That's how you can kind of help you figure that out. Okay, so there's JL, okay, and so actually, Jaden, we can use that to now find PM. So, Jaden, what can I do to find the length of PM here? Divide what by 2?
95.
Exactly right, yeah, it's 95 divided by 2. Okay, so 47.5. Okay, degrees, I guess, right, since we're talking, well, no, this is not an angle, my mistake. This is 47.5. Okay? All right, and then we're asked for the measure of angle MLK, which is this angle right there. Okay, measure of angle MLK. Yeah, like Martin Luther King, exactly right. Okay. It's supposed to be at 47.5 here. I'll rewrite this whole thing. Okay. Well, let's measure of angle MLK. Well, remember here that MP, right, is parallel to LK. So it's going to be 105. Yeah. And what's the special angle pair we have here? Are these alternate interior?
Yeah. No.
No, they're on the same side, and they're like kind of in the same position. They're not co-interior corresponding. They're in the same kind of position. Right, here's the parallel line. Here's the parallel line. And they're both in the same kind of position there. So it's the 105 degrees. It's corresponding.
Is there any chance that you could like turn on the heat off there? I mean, it's like cold.
I understand. I apologize, guys. Like I said, tomorrow I'd recommend you bring some like warm clothes to have on, and then take them off. If you get too hot. Okay, I apologize. Okay, there they are then. Okay. So let's see here. Do I want to do this? Okay, so what I would like you guys to do on page 400, okay, I want you to go ahead and try and answer 6 through 10 there, please, on page 400 for some practice, okay, and I'll kind of come around and help as necessary. Okay, actually, I'm going to zoom in some, and then, Kate, I'll get you 1 second there, okay? Okay, so go ahead and get started, please, on that. We'll see how you do with it, okay? Correct. Yes. Yes. Yes, right after. Okay, Billy, come on, buddy. I want you to try these, okay?
How do we do these?
What's the length of XY?
I have no idea.
Well, look at your picture there. How is XY going to be related? So, all right, let me get other right. Well, you can follow along too, sorry, since you're on the same one, right?
So the length of XY?
So XY, okay, remember we just talked about midsegments, right? Is XY a midsegment?
Yeah.
Yeah, it joins the midpoint to two sides, right? It joins the midpoint X to the midpoint Y. So this is related to what other side? What's like the third side? The third side is BC, right? XY will be parallel then to BC, and XY will be what in relationship to the length of BC? Remember, XY is the length of the midsegment is what in comparison to the third side, lengthwise?
Would it be 4.6?
It's opposite. It's going to be half. It's half the length of that third side. So XY is half.
How do you know
length.
it's half?
The midsegment is half the length. That's the relationship the midsegment has always with the third side.
So would you do 4.6 divided by 2?
So what's the, careful, what's the length of this third side here?
15.8.
15.8. So you would do that.
Divided by 2?
Right. Here, hang on.
7.9.
This side is screwed to this side. So the whole thing is equal. Hey, I'm going to go
Equals 7.92, right?
I don't know because I thought it would be the opposite. Because it's the opposite side. So.
Yeah, but that's the midpoint between these two.
So why? Again, here we got one angle.
If it's touching like this side, it's on it, I wouldn't, like, if it was important, right, and it's this side, the other relationship side to this, being half its length, which is here going parallel. Because they're both. Good. You were even here. So that was 100. You got there, supplementary. Christian, you got it all done there, buddy? Christian, I was asleep. Christian, not feeling well, bud.
You lie, you're still fine.
Do you want to go to the nurse, Christian? Alright, so then we're working on these right now, so I'm trying to do what we can there. We're using Midsegment Theorem to help you, so X and Y are midpoints. This thing that we, that's called a midsegment. Okay? Parallel to this north side. Half the length.
That's just dirty.
Alright.
I was imagining.
Okay, so for AX,
Yes.
AX is axis B, and
Yep.
axis B 4.6.
Yep.
Okay, so then it's measure Y equals B.
Angle, yep. That angle, right? So that's this angle right here.
That was 60. And then measure B, X, Y.
Yes.
Turns out this one.
Yes.
Alright, which one?
Not really, right? But I mean, what is this angle? How's this angle gonna relate to
I would
this?
keep doing it like that.
That's
Now there's alternate here, they're the same size here. They're the same size here. So they're like, they're gonna be supplementary.
Why would you want
Next one, BZ.
Why?
Well, let's go, sorry, I caught up here, okay. So BZ, well, look at Z is in the middle of BC, right? Both those sides are good, so what do we need to do to get BC? Do I make it? Second? Okay.
I have a question for, I have a question for number 9, but just to make sure, is 1068 because these are the same size?
So be careful, if you're talking about BXY, that's this
That's
angle.
BXY, okay,
Yeah.
but, alright, well
How
then,
would you do, because it says AX, and the midpoint is X,
So AX, that's part of this side, which is related to this side, right? That's a midsegment. This midsegment is 4.6. So how can you figure out what this is? And then once you have that, you can figure out this piece, right? If this is 4.6, how can we figure out this side? And then to find just this piece, though, of this side, what would you do? But if you're doing 4.6 plus 4.6 and then dividing by 2, what will the final answer really be? Okay, well, do it and see what happens.
alright, so then how would you do this?
YZC?
Yeah.
So YZC is, which angle is it talking about?
This one right here.
Nope.
YZC.
YZC. This
Oh,
angle.
okay.
And so what do you think it's going to be?
68.
Yes, because they're alternate interior angles.
Alright, well then what about number 10?
Well, take a look, figure out what the angle is and try and figure it out, okay? All right, guys, a couple more minutes here. Jason, we're
Okay, so XY is a, 58 is a measure of a what? Derek, I want you to come back over here, bud. I don't know why you decided you feel like you could move. Okay? We'll be taking like that, that's pretty fast. Take this talk.
I'm so cold.
Full length is 58. So like 2 to get the next one. Look, that's what it looks like right now.
Is she taller than me? Is she taller than me?
I don't know. Because she chooses not.
Cold, man?
I don't know, but not for this.
Jared, what's the matter here, bud? Why don't we do anything? What's the trouble? Okay. Question? Alright, well, we're going to take a look at these right now, and then we'll see how you do, okay? So, if you have questions, now will be the time to ask them once you go over it here. Okay, so here we go, guys. Let's take a look at these. Alright, some people have some chances to go over it. Alright, so let's take a look. Alright. So, number 6 here, which is our first one, okay, we're asked to find the length of xy. Okay? xy, right, is joining the midpoint x to the midpoint y. How do you know they're midpoints? Because the two sides over, I'll get you, one second, Matt, sorry. The two sides here, the two little pieces are congruent, therefore x is the midpoint, right? Y is in the middle of AC, again, these two parts are congruent. So xy is a mid-segment. Okay? So if we want to find this length xy, it's going to be half, listen up please, it's going to be half this third side. Alright, so, let's go to someone here, let's go to, so Evan, how can I, well, so what will xy be? What'd you get? 7.9, okay, is correct. How'd you get 7.9? Okay, if you looked at Taylor's paper, that doesn't count. It's 15.8 divided by 2, okay? Half the third side gives you this length of the mid-segment, okay? So the mid-segment is related to that third side. If that's 15.8, half of that's going to be 7.9, okay? Look, guys, we have a crest coming up, right? You need to know this stuff, okay? I know it's Monday, I know it's cold, but we can't just be satisfied with being like, I don't get this, and then giving up, okay? That's not...
On Thursday? Oh, got him, okay.
That's not acceptable, okay? Some of you guys are giving me like maybe 10% of your attention right now, and you're going to suffer on the crest because of it, okay? So you want to make sure that you're listening. I mean, I'm not just going over this for my own good. You need to know this stuff, okay? So if you're having trouble, you need to be paying attention, asking questions, all right? This is not time to goof off. All right, so number 7, we want to find BZ. Okay? So, Matt, what'd you do here? Yes, BZ and ZC are marked equal.
Then XY is the mid-segment of BC.
Right?
It's going to be half of 15.8.
Yeah.
7.9.
Right, and really we didn't even need to bring in, Ramel, Taylor, listen up please. We didn't even need to bring in the fact that XY is the mid-segment here. If we know that BC, the full length is 15.8, then BZ is just going to be half of that. So it's going to be 15.8 divided by 2, 7.9. Okay, so there's the answer for that one. All right, let's go take a look at AX. All right, so here's AX. Okay, it's half of this full side right here. Okay, Garrett, can you tell me what's the mid-segment that's related to this side here, AB? What other segment in my big triangle here? What's the mid-segment related to this third side here, AB? XA, so I mean it's in relationship there, yes. I mean that's part of it. I'm saying what's the mid-segment that relates to this third side here? It's not XA, it's not a mid-segment. Not XY. XY is a mid-segment, but that's related to this side. What's the other mid-segment there? BZ not a mid-segment, nope. Alright, let's go to someone else. I'll come back to you, Garrett, though. Hang on. Sardez, what's the mid-segment that's related to side AB here? Oh, okay. Cordell, can you tell me what is the mid-segment related to this third side here? What's the mid-segment? What is the mid-segment related to this side of our big triangle right? Here's the big triangle, right? We got two mid-segments drawn in this big triangle. There's one, there's one. Yeah, it's ZY, exactly right. There we go, ZY. Start as, do you see that now? ZY is the mid-segment there that relates to them this side. Do you see that? Okay, Garrett, it's important too. Do you see that, Garrett? ZY is the mid-segment here. that relates to this side here, B. How do we know it's how do you know YZ is a midsegment? It joins the midpoint here, Y, to the midpoint here, Z. Okay? So, if ZY is 4.6, how can I figure out what AB's length is? Garrett, go ahead, sorry. If ZY is 4.6, how can I find AB? You got it, 4.6 times 2. Okay, so 4.6 times 2 gives me 9.2. So the full length here is 9.2. But Garrett, I'm not interested in the full length, I want just AX. So how can I figure out what just AX is? 4.6, yeah, half of it, yeah.
Is it okay if you just took AX and matched it up with YZ?
Yep,
Yeah, I looked at
that's
that.
fine, yes, you can.
I think it's a complicated.
Well, it's because some students were thinking it that way. I heard them talking that way, so that's why.
Okay.
So, next one, number 9 here, measure of angle YZC. Let's see here. Oh, she's not here. Let's go to, oh, Evan, I already talked to you, so I'm not going to call on you again there. Alright. Taylor, how about you? Measure of angle YZC. So YZC, that's this angle right here. What does that angle measure have to be there, Taylor? So, if you look here, XY, right, is a midsegment, and it's parallel to BC here. So we have two parallel lines being crossed by a transversal. What does that angle have to be? $112. Okay, so you're saying that these two angles are supplementary? There you go, at 68 degrees, exactly right. They're alternate interior. So that's a 68 degree right there for YZC. Okay? But then BXY, Taylor, so BXY, hold on a second, BXY, what will that measure be? 112, yeah. That's going to be equal to 180 minus the 68, and that equals 112
I
degrees.
forgot. What is the difference between interior and alternate interior and alternate exterior angles?
Alternate interior is when the two angles are between the two parallel lines.
Okay.
Alternate exterior, I'll draw a quick picture here. Alternate exterior would be like this angle and this angle. They're outside the two parallel lines. They're still going to be congruent though. They'll still be congruent. Okay, or like this right here and like that right there. They're also alternate exterior.
Alright, I got it.
And we'll review that some more before we get into the question stuff. Okay? Alright, so that was mid-segment stuff. Now, if you guys would get your packets out from Thursday, okay, those packets have some mid-segment questions on them. Some of you guys maybe looked at those and are like, I have no idea what this is. We've never done this. You're right. You had it.
Do I need that?
Yeah, I'll get that for you here.
I have a question.